My mission is simple, to make you money. I'm here to level the playing field for all investors. There's always a bull market somewhere, and I promise to help you find it. Mad Money starts now. Hey, I'm Cramer. Welcome to Mad Money. Welcome to Cramerica. Other people want to make friends? I'm just trying to make you some money. My job is not just to entertain you, but to educate and teach you. So call me at 1-800-743-CNBC or tweet me at Jim Cramer. Are we deliciously and delightfully calming down? After some frenetic weeks of trading, I mean, really just huge volume, it almost felt normal today, didn't it? With the Dow inching up 28 points, S&P advancing 0.47%, Nasdaq gaining 0.50%. I like normal. I like normal because if we're not careful, a good portion of this market might be headed down the highway to the danger zone. A day with less froth, like today, is a day where the rally feels more sustainable. But if the cannabis cohort and the short busters and the incredible pumping and dumping I'm seeing on the web keeps coming back, well, you know I'm going to have to get more negative. With that out of the way, what's the game plan for next week? Okay, now we come back after a three-day weekend with an in-your-face quarter from CVS, the first to be presided over by new CEO Karen Lynch. Talk about the hot seat. CVS is now a huge player in the great vaccination race, but it's also got a bunch of other businesses, including healthcare benefits division that Wall Street does genuinely seem to be worried about. Now, we've owned CVS for the Charitable Trust for ages. You can follow our moves by joining the ActionAlertsPlus.com club. I tell you what I'm going to do so you can move ahead of me. We've held this one, though. You know why? Because it's one of the least expensive stocks in the S&P 500. CVS has been challenged as a drugstore by Amazon and challenged on the health insurance side by a host of competitors. If Lynch can raise numbers and back that up with some solid traffic projections, maybe a debt paydown, I could see the stock finally getting the traction it deserves. Also in the morning, we hear from Zoetis. Now, this is that animal health play I always have on air. It's one of the most consistent companies out there. Once again, I think you'll see another round of gains in the humanization of pet stocks. Zoetis is the medical leader, Chewy for online. And I'm liking this Petco, by the way, a lot for not just its brick and mortar, but the brick and mortar pet healthcare business. After the close, the two big ones are Ring Central and Occidental Petroleum. Now, Ring Central makes call center software, but they've also got a video conference platform that competes with Zoom and does very well. Company's aggressive and grows rapidly, and we've liked it for many hundreds of points. As for Occidental, the price of oil spent 9 of the last 10 days going higher. It's already back to $59 a barrel. Many are predicting that the long bear market in oil is over. I am not so sure about that. Too much supply. But if you believe it, no one is more bullish on oil than Occidental CEO Vicky Holub. We want to hear what the person who paid top dollar for Anadarko Petroleum, wrecking Occidental's balance sheet, has to say about it now that crude's climbing again. Maybe Occidental can finally play, say, offense? I'll believe when I see it. Also on Tuesday, one of my faves, Emerson Electric has a new management holding an analyst meeting where I bet we'll find out about the state of the world because this is a well-diversified industrial. By the way, what I really want to listen to is their China exposure. I expect good things. Next, 3 of the fastest-growing companies in the universe report on Wednesday. I bet 2 of them deliver stellar, amazing quarters. That's one is Shopify. That's the engine behind so much e-commerce that I hope I've introduced you to about 900 points ago, maybe even more. And then there's Twilio, which makes it possible for all sorts of apps to send you messages. As for the third, it's Fastly. They've been rebuilding their credibility after a big shortfall in October. I think the problems are behind them, but I'm less confident in this one than I am on the other 2. Still, you know, I like it very much. Shopify will be the star of that day, I imagine. After the close, we hear from Pioneer Natural Resources. That's my favorite oil company. It's basically the polar opposite of Occidental in terms of its conservative nature. These guys always put on a conference call clinic, courtesy of CEO Scott Sheffield, the dean of the oil patch. I don't recommend many oil companies these days, but if you put a gun to my head to make me choose, I'd say, will you please put the gun down? Just go by Pioneer. Next up is Boston Beer, okay, parent of Sam Adams, and the red-hot, truly hard seltzer. Now, if one more company enters this hard seltzer business, will it be too much for them to handle? I think Boston Beer's still got excellent momentum, even as they're going up now against Bud, Constellation Brands, and even Coca-Cola's Topo Chico. I bet you can still get another good quarter here, but no, please, do not overstay your welcome when you have guns coming at you like those guys. It feels getting crowded. Thursday morning brings us the most important quarter of the week, and that is Walmart. As we head toward a reopened economy, is Walmart evolved enough? Can they go head-to-head with Amazon? I know it's an old soul by now, but they do have their stores as warehouses. They'll say yes, they can. But I want to hear about some initiatives and benchmarks that show us that Walmart's still hungry, especially after Mark Lorry left. The guy at Jet.com, remember, they bought that. He did a fantastic job. We have been buying Walmart for the Charitable Trust because it's pulled back hard. I think it gives you a pretty good setup going into the conference call, quarter, and meeting. You know, I'm a big believer in gold, and I like Bitcoin, yes, but I still like gold, and the best one of those is Barrick Gold. I know that CEO Dr. Mark Bristow will give you a look at the only real growth in income play in the industry I trust. At least, well, let's just say it's a buy ahead of the quarter if you like gold. Now, I've been telling you about the worldwide semiconductor shortage night after night because we don't have enough foundries to meet the demand in this country. Our companies have to rely on producers in Taiwan and Korea, and they don't have any spare capacity right now. And that is one of the reasons, for instance, why Ford and GM have had to cut their production targets. Not enough chips. The problem won't be going away anytime soon, but the biggest winners are the semiconductor capital equipment makers I always talk about. And I always use three. I always say Lam Research, KLA Tencor, and the one that reports Thursday night, which is Applied Materials. This stock has been rallying like crazy because of the shortage, but I think things are good enough for it to keep climbing, especially since the Biden White House seems to recognize the scale of the problem. How about a little bread and circus? Aren't we due one? Well, I mean, a gentle one. The whole Robinhood GameStop menagerie comes to Washington on Thursday when Congress tries to figure out what the heck happened to the brokerage house and its customers in the storming of the barricades a few weeks ago. The Robinhood Revolution's underbelly will be exposed. Will trust be restored? I doubt it. But at the very least, it's going to make for some good theater. People are always looking for companies that can truly shoot the lights out. Even if their stocks have had amazing runs already, they don't care. So on Thursday night, I'm going to give you two of them on my favorite streaming video players report, Roku and The Trade Desk. These companies are cord-cutting kingpins that are designed for the new world of watching and advertising sans cable. Everyone keeps wondering when their gains will stop. Me, I'm wondering why anyone expects them to stop when it took cable decades to supplant traditional broadcast TV. Cable, yes, rabbit ears. Finally, on Friday, those were things that were on your TV when I was growing up. They looked like rabbit ears. Friday morning, we got two companies that sound boring, even though they are anything but. I'm talking about Deere and Magna. I bet Deere tells the story of higher commodity prices that has order books brimming for tractors. As for Magna, the auto parts maker, well, we've got a red-hot auto market. They're the best assembler. And these guys, by the way, assemble cars for compelling electric vehicle players like Fisker. You see that today? You know we like Heinrich Fisker. You know what? Magna could be exciting. The bottom line, I regard this as the last official week of an earnings season that's been far, far better than anyone expected. That means we've got tons of good stocks to choose from, as long as we don't get so crazy with the sideshows that they become the main event. Let's go to Delano in New York. Delano.
Booyah. Happy belated birthday, Cramer.
Oh, you're very kind.
First-time caller, long-time listener, and love your show.
Oh,
As a
thank
young
you.
investor in college, I have a question for you.
Fantastic.
MGM just reported their quarter on Wednesday, and I wanted to know how you are feeling about this stock for the reopening trade.
Well, it was very interesting, and I'm glad you asked me that, and thank you for calling, Delano. This was a quarter that I didn't think was as good as what Wall Street thought. But they gave you some very good guidance and a lot of talk about some really good, interesting gambling initiatives. And I am one of the believers in gambling being far bigger than people realize. So I'm going to go with you and say that MGM is good to own here. Let's go to Gary in my old home state of Pennsylvania. Gary.
Hey, Jim, thanks for everything you do. It's much appreciated. Long time listener.
Thank you, Gary.
Hey, let's talk about Garmin, ticker GRMN. IPO in 2000 did very well, but they were stagnant for a bunch of years, eventually climbing to about the 90s last Thanksgiving. Recently, the stock has rocketed to 130. Garmin is the leader in glass panel avionics, but there is competition with the fitness wearable technology. With Boeing coming back strong, avionics in demand, is Garmin a buy?
I like Garmin. I've liked Garmin the whole run, and not just because I'm a proud owner of a beautiful Boston Whaler, but I think Garmin is one of the most. We did a piece about what the heck. It was about why I said that Garmin's going to keep going higher, and it does. You gave a very good brief for it, Gary, and thank you for calling in. Mario in Connecticut. Mario.
Hey, Jim, thanks so much.
Of course.
Since the IPO in December, Airbnb has been up a little more than 45% and seems to be a little more consistent in its upward movement than other reopening stocks. I've been interested in the stock since the IPO and want to know if you think the upward moves are a reflection of the fundamentals or if you think the price is inflated by things like reopening news or day traders.
Well, I am a huge believer. Thank you for this question. I'm a huge believer in Brian Chesky, and I saw someone downgraded today just because it's moved up so much, and I had no idea that it moved up this much. I was out for a little bit, but I think Airbnb is a great company. Is it too expensive versus others? Let's just say that I think if you put Airbnb away for a long time, you will not think it's too expensive. But as it looks right now, I can see why someone might just say I'm being a little greedy, and Brian Chesky's doing a remarkable job. All right, now, it's been an earnings season that's far better than anyone expected. There are plenty of good stocks to choose from, so let's stick with the good, tried and true, and not go crazy with the pumping and the dumping. On Mad Money tonight, Dexcom stock stumbled after the earnings initially. Is the stock still in good health, or could it be a red flag? I'm talking to the CEO of Fresh Office Report. You know it's one of my faves. Then it was one of my top stock ideas of 2021. The company just reported, but can AZEK, the decking company, continue to climb? Let's speak to the CEO. And it's a company that works with the likes of Walmart, UPS, and Alphabet. And you probably never heard of it. And man, do I ever like it. Don't miss my exclusive with one of the hottest SPACs out there, and one I can get behind. It's called STEM. Stay with Cramer.
Don't miss a second of Mad Money. Follow @Jim Cramer on Twitter. Have a question? Tweet Cramer. #MadTweets. Send Jim an email to madmoney@cnbc.com or give us a call at 1-800-743-CNBC. Miss something? Head to madmoney.cnbc.com.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.